Good early morning to you. Today I'm headed off on a new adventure. I'm headed over to the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. This is a day where a ton of volunteers get together and they cut and make a bunch of firewood for the veterans that run a campground there, and then they're able to sell the firewood throughout the year to raise money. So I've got the 755 loaded up in the bed here, I've got the backhoe and the wood splitter on the trailer, and we're gonna make the 2-hour trek over there, hopefully spend a day of fellowship and wood cutting and see what we can get done. I'm excited. Hopefully it doesn't rain out all day though, so now to go pay the piper.
Dig Drive DIY.
All right, well I am almost there. It's been a pretty good drive so far, other than it has rained the entire way down here, and they have had a lot of rain. So there's a lot of localized flooding, nothing severe. Like you see this kind of flooding every time we get more than 2 or 3 inches of rain around home. This is just the way it works, but hopefully the campground isn't all flooded out, and you know, they've made provisions to be able to work even with a lot of rain. Maybe we'll be working from the driveway. I'm not sure, but regardless, even if we can't cut wood, I'm happy just to meet some people and run into some maybe run into some viewers, see all the other volunteers. But it'll be good regardless. Camp about a mile away, so. Not quite sure where to go. I see a lot more equipment down here, so let's make my way down here. We're here. I'm parked. It's still drizzling, but I'm gonna walk up there and say hi and check it out. See what shakes down, I guess. All right, so I've made it here. Ran into Mike. Mike is the one responsible for all this. K&L Firewood on YouTube if you want to check him out. But Mike, tell me about what are some of your goals for today? Like, what is this for?
So it was just an idea of mine a few years ago that has kind of blossomed into this big firewood event. The veterans here produce a bunch of firewood they sell in September. They have the biggest Vietnam or service reunion, I guess, in the country, right here in Greentown, Indiana. Yeah, so this place is full of campers in September, 2,000 sites or so.
I noticed it was a huge campground.
Huge. So anyway, we make a bunch of firewood today, and it'll sit here until September, and then they'll sell just about all of it during that week.
Wow.
So, and it just raises money for the grounds. You know, the veterans are getting older. They don't have the ability to get out here and split or the want to anymore.
Right.
So I just felt like it was on me to do something.
Yeah.
And here it is.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's just a huge group of volunteers. There's a lot of other YouTubers here, firewood YouTube guys, and come together, make as much wood as humanly possible in one day, and you'll see all the equipment out there. It's incredible, the equipment row, and then try to fill up that building, right?
And hopefully in just a few hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be amazing.
All right, well, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
We'll get over there and see if we can knock some out.
Awesome.
All right. So this is actually the 3rd annual Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, and it's been growing in popularity every year. Mike invited me the last 2 years, but this is the first time the event landed on an open weekend for me, and luckily, I'm geographically pretty close. Greentown, Indiana is close to the bigger city of Kokomo, which is in north central Indiana and a really easy drive from where I live up in the northeast corner of the state near Fort Wayne. I was really excited about this trip too because of the opportunity to hang out with other guys that also enjoy splitting firewood. Most of these guys cut way more firewood than I do, and even though my YouTube channel isn't just about firewood, I was still really looking forward to meeting some other folks that make videos and working together on a common goal for a good cause. I brought my backhoe along so that I could work up any really big rounds that are normally difficult to get lifted and maneuvered by hand onto a conventional splitter. Knowing that I was coming, Mike had arranged the wood stockpiles so that there were quite a few large diameter rounds all gathered up in one spot. The thought was that I could get positioned in a way that would let me tackle the giant rounds with the backhoe, and then once they were worked down smaller, I would pass them off to other volunteers working more conventional style splitters. And I should probably mention for those watching who are not aware, that about 10 years ago I built a special wood splitter that mounts on my backhoe and allows me to comfortably split down enormous rounds of firewood from the comfort of my cab seat. And I was going to be especially thankful for that cab today, as it turned out. But the splitter works in place of the digging bucket on the back, and it's designed in a way that it doesn't require any auxiliary hydraulic circuit either. The wedge of the splitter is affixed to the stick of the backhoe, much like a thumb might be. Then the pusher bar is attached to the bucket cylinder that would normally curl or dump your digging bucket. And I can grab rounds that are of almost any diameter, but they can't be more than about 24 inches thick. There's also a sweet spot for the working distance of the splitter from the backhoe itself, because the splitter is fixed to the stick. It works best when my wedge is perpendicular to the ground. So that means if the wood is too close to me, it can be very difficult to grab it. And then the same is true if the wood is too far away. It works best if and when the wood can be fed to me and placed in the radius of my sweet spot reach. I can manipulate the rounds forward and backward a little bit as necessary, but it really cuts down on my actual production time. So in an effort to make things go a little bit faster, I had some helpers on my crew that were assisting in getting the wood to me. A few of my viewers, Greg, Cole, and Brian, braved the rain and really helped me to be more efficient. I was so glad that they were there, and it was very helpful, but I was feeling pretty guilty that I was in the cab, staying dry and warm, and they were out there getting soaked and fighting the mud.
All right, we've been working for about an hour, and we are getting things diced up here. We're making a pretty good dent in the pile. Had a lot of help. Greg's here helping me. He's a viewer. The worst part is that where I'm working, I'm making a big muddy mess because I'm splitting in the same spot. I wish I had some kind of horse mat or something I could just plop down and then keep the wood clean. But what do you do when you get a couple 3 inches of rain and you're just forced to do with what you can do, you know, if any of that makes sense. So I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully we can knock out some of these big ones yet. We got Cole is here and Greg. Thanks for helping, guys. And there's a lot of good folks out here fighting the rain and the mud. The conditions are not ideal, but these guys that are into firewood, they don't care. They'll work through it, get the job done. So. Oh, this is new.
Yeah, brand new.
Nice. I'm gonna get back to work myself. Hopefully we can knock some more of this out. 120. So we've been at it for about 4.5 hours. Making good progress. Sorry that there's so much mud. I keep apologizing to the guys that I can't do much about the mud situation, but it is what it is. We're still getting a lot split up. So. You see these two guys right here? These guys are viewers that came out to help. This is Cole, this is Greg. Cole is somebody I really admire. Cole is a 15-year-old viewer that made a comment on my video when I said I was coming to the Firewood Hysteria, and he wanted to help. He's an FFA, he likes to do welding, and he helps out his dad with all the housework. This kid is gonna go somewhere because he's willing to get out here and work. So I'm really thankful to Cole for coming out and helping me. He's part of my crew. Greg over there is part of my crew. He's a viewer that said he was gonna be here. So I came by myself and I was worried that, you know, I wouldn't really have anybody here to help me, and those guys have filled in the gap. Dad wanted to come today, but he wasn't able to make it because he had a wedding to go to, but I really think a lot of those guys for coming out to help. Well, it's about 2 o'clock. We're going to take a little break for lunch. They've got a lot of people inside that put on a volunteer lunch for all the people that are here working, which is incredible. It's a lot of people to feed. They're also doing a raffle where you buy raffle tickets, and then there's a bunch of prizes assembled that have been donated by various creators and people in the wood industry. So I'm going to buy some tickets for that and see what I can come up with. But here's a look at some of the wood pile that we've cut so far. It's been raining the entire time. It just won't stop. The weather showed that it was going to have some breaks, but it hasn't. But it hasn't stopped anyone from carrying on. The show must go on, as they say, and it certainly has. You can see what they're dealing with on some of this stuff. Saving that one. This is the only one they didn't want me to split. We're going to save this one, but I've been dicing up most of the big ones. There's a clear winner right there. Sorry, you must have been towards the end of the last.
One of the last weeks.
So our prize didn't go to the first choice. It went to the bottom, but oh well.
It went somewhere.
All right. Well, thank you. There isn't a whole lot of big wood left, so I think I'm going to be able to finish up pretty quickly. I really want to try to get home before dark because my headlights aren't the best on Louis. That's one thing I really need to improve too. Could use some help on that too. If you got any leads on headlight solutions for an old L9000 Aero Max style hood, I could really use the insight. But we're going to just finish up what little I got left, and then we'll probably pack it up and head on out of here, I suppose. I think I'm going to wrap it up. We got all the big stuff busted up. They got a heck of a pile there. Look at that. So much for cleaning out the backhoe, right? Oh well. It was fun. It was good for a good cause. I'm going to see if I can get this muddy thing out of here. A little congested there, but man, everybody stuck it out, and really, we got a lot done. There was a lot of wood to cut there, and it was all done in the rain. What a bummer. But still, all good. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this loaded up and head on out of here. I really need to try to be home before dark. Well, thanks for having me, Mike.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
It was a rainy day, but people stuck it out, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised at the turnout with a rainy day, and we made a ton of wood, and couldn't have done it without you, brother.
Ah, well, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Till the next time.
You bet.
All right. That's how you know you're done. When you're smoking and steaming in the rain. Well, that was a full day of splitting. We did it regardless. I keep saying it over and over again, but it was a good time. We made a heck of a lot of wood, made some new friends, and I'm still glad that we came. Might have to clean up the backhoe again, but other than that, no big deal. But you know what? More than anything, I want to thank the guys that helped me today, Brian and Greg and Cole. And I want to thank you guys for clicking and watching this video. It means so much to me. I hope you liked it, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, let's hope I make it home before it's dark. What?
Did you get me in it? Did you?
No.
No. All right.